Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horror review. Right, this one was recommended to me by Dale. Um, Basically, he wanted me to check out David J. Espinosa, indie director, and some of his works. So I didn't do them in order. I kind of skipped through and went, "Oh, right, that one." I didn't realize there was a couple of ones before this. So this is The Evil Down the Street, which is apparently based on a true story, which I don't bother looking into because none of the real life stuff. Just give me nice stories. Right. So basically, what this is, a family moves into a house. Turns out it's inhabited by a demon, and we've got the Rand family. So you've got Michael, Katie, Kristen, and Maddie. So Michael and Katie, husband and wife, and the two daughters. Uh, first, first of all, if you're going to watch this, don't watch it on YouTube. I know I put the link to YouTube on it, but I'll switch it out for the Tubi one. Hopefully, it's better because every bloody 2 minutes it's an ad break. So you just get the same ads, and there's more ads in this than actual movie. It's friggin' annoying. So I don't know what that channel that they've hosted it on is playing at, but really takes you out of the movie. Like you're trying to watch this, and every friggin' scene is ad break, ad break, ad break, and it's god, infuriating. I was starting to zone out like the last part of this, the third act, because god, it was just every time you try to get into the story, you're taken right out. So don't watch this on YouTube. I'll change that link in the description. Yeah, I thought right. So no, it's only if murders happen. So no murders happen in this because there's isn't there a thing where real estate agents have to disclose if something gnarly happened in the house. So the weird thing is nothing actually happened. The previous tenant was her owner was taken away. One of them was anyway, not the whole family. The rest of the family moved on. So it was innocent enough, seems to be. Yeah, most of the stories like right. If you really get the heebies, cheerio. But then again, I don't know. I moved a couple of times in my life, and that when you're in a new place, it takes a couple of weeks to really get your head around it. I don't know if you have experienced that, but you're in a new you're in a new house, new home, and it's strange, and you haven't got used to the creaks and the bumps, and just even the environment. And the first couple of weeks, just even sleeping and getting their routine is bad. Just because you're not, it doesn't become your familiar property for a while, and then once it becomes your like home, you wouldn't imagine being anywhere else. So there is a bit of that, where if somebody's moving into a house is haunted, but you've still got the jitters, if that makes sense. So it can be forgiven for a bit. Now, let's go into the story. First of all, red flag, intro drone shot. That waves red flags to me. Anytime I see a horror movie and it's starting off with the intro drone shot, I'm like, oh no, it's gonna be bad. And 9 times out of 10, I'm right. This, like I said, the bloody ads. I can't really make a full. I've issues with the film, but because I watched it on YouTube, because the director gave the YouTube link, and the freaking ads were interrupting all the time, I freaking couldn't get into it. Just kept getting taken out and taken out. I can get a couple of ads throughout a movie. You know what I mean? 2 or 3 ad breaks in a movie, fair enough. A lot of platforms do have free ones, but this was relentless. I don't know if it's. I think he actually set it up like that. So if you set your ad settings like that, I don't know what they're doing. If they're like constantly chasing ad revenue, but I'm pretty sure if you watch 1 or 2 movies in this, you're not going to go back because it's just so annoying. And YouTube is really aggressive for it. Like even for trailers and stuff, they'll stick an ad in the front and even afterwards. You're like, what the hell? You're watching more ad than actual advert. A trailer's an advert for a movie. So yeah, starts off with a drone shot. We meet the family. They're just moving in. Um, got the removal guys are helping them and stuff. And at this point, it actually looks quite decent. You know, family, you're seeing a bit of chemistry together, a bit of banter with the removal guys and stuff, and that's fine. Thing is, it's all the pacing of this is really bad too. Like it's like they're only moving into the house and they find the Ouija board in the basement. Like it's like that, and you're like, whoa, now this thing's an hour 37 minutes or something. Like, no man, it's not a short. I can understand it happening like a short, but this is all within the first 2 minutes of them coming in. It it does all this, and you're like, what's happening? Surely they would get settled in. You'd set the scene, get to know the family a bit, and then the discovery would be made. But this is all like, you know, like I said, the acting at the start, pretty decent, and then it kind of falls off the cliff a wee bit. So, the daughters find the Ouija board first. Now you have one daughter, Kristen. She's like looks as if she's in her 20s or something. She's working on that. So I don't think she's not that young. The other one's like a young teen sort of thing. I think she's the one, Maddie. She's the one who finds the Ouija board first. And this is what I'm saying about the ads keep bloody taking me out. But the girls start messing about with it, and then it's the parents like, no, don't be messing with that. Now we're getting no indication that they're deeply religious. It's kind of hinted at, but there's no time to set up who they are as a family because they bounce straight into it, like through the front door and they find a Ouija board, like brought, not even a minute to give you a bit of breath, which I found quite annoying. So you don't know what their values and standards are. You don't know what their dynamics are as a family. Normally you need a minute or two in the movie to actually figure that out. It doesn't give you that, which is a bit of a shame. Because there's enough time. There's a lot of busy work and time doing nothing in this movie. So spending, I don't know, the first 10 minutes before they encountered the Ouija board setting the scene would have been plenty. Flip sake, they spent longer in the drone shot. You know what I mean? They spent longer in the drone shot showing you the neighborhood, moving in and spending time with the family. So you're like, what's going on? Second major issue with this, and I couldn't let it go, was the sound. After that initial scene of them just moving in, you get this like sound the whole way through the movie. Really bad. And the leveling of the dialogue is atrocious. I mean, and I'm not one to, you know me, I like to give everything a fair shot, but I mean, it was bad. You're getting people talking like this, and then talking like this, and they're all in the same shot, and it's like, what the hell? The other thing as well, the sound effects seem to be fully in afterwards, and the editing for that, like somebody stirring with a spoon, and you think it was, like an explosion going off. It's like this when you hear it thing, and you're like, oh my god, that's. So there's two things that's taking you out of this movie. First of all, the platform it's on, YouTube, the channel, they've set their ads way too frequent, like ridiculously so. So you're just getting boom, boom, boom every scene you're getting. Then you've got this horrendous sound. Just even post-production, a bit of spectral subtraction could remove that, but denoising this could benefit from. And the Foley, like, I don't know how long they had to edit this, but God, you just, when you hear that, it's really taking you out of it. You need both. You need both a great, not even just horror, but any movie. Everybody remembers the beginning. Everybody remembers the end. And it's the middle bit you can kind of play about and get away with too much as long as it doesn't drag out. And as long as the story's coherent. How many movies have we seen where they really drag a start to get the, and by the time you get to the ending, you're exhausted because it's just taking so long to get there. Or, like so this one, boom, straight away to start, like the Ouija boards in the first 3 minutes, if that, like in the first opening scene. and there's no you know what I mean, nothing happens, and it just drags on to the sort of end. Um, you need both. There's not one without the other. Don't know. Really frustrating. And then the acting with Michael and Katie, the girls were fine. The characters, Christy and Maddie, were cool. They were consistent the whole way through. It's when Katie encounters the Ouija board and she's the one that gets possessed. And honestly, just didn't buy it. And also Michael's reaction to her. I don't know, he's acting like a downtrodden husband, but that's not the dynamics they were given. But once again, he didn't get any time. This needed 10. No, for considering the fact that it's more suspenseful thriller type horror. You know what I mean? There's no blood, no gore, no kills in this. It's all done in tension. You know, tense moments in that. So you didn't get that aspect of you didn't see what the relationship was for them to see it tested because you just weren't given enough time. And that's the only way these sort of movies worked. A perfect example is Poltergeist. Poltergeist, you have the family unit. They're a strong family unit. And they were tested by the spirits. You know, that was the whole idea to bring them apart. And even in those moments where they were feeling despondent, about to give up, it was their love brought them through. In fact, Poltergeist 2, I think the scene with the tequila and, you know, what do you call him, the preacher, that whole scene, that had to be the biggest test of any relationship. And they got through it. But you knew who the characters were. This, you're not given any time. You just don't get it. Which it's a bit of a shame. Because when Katie turns, and I mean, it's like dramatic. The way the pace this is just like she meets the Ouija board, next day she's flipping a completely different person. And people are barely batting an eyelid. And then they're like tiptoeing around her as if they've always been afraid of her, sort of thing. Where the impression in the first like 2 minutes is that they're not like that. So you have no idea, you have nothing to hold on to. So that makes you kind of going on. And then the minute you get a scene, the fucking ad break comes in, like boom, another ad break, and like, oh, so you're taken out of the scene anyway, so you don't get a chance to actually make an assessment. So this is what happens anyway. Katie gets possessed by the Ouija board. It's nothing happens with it. It disappears. She hides it, and the girls try and find it. The older one, Kristen, tries to do research, but once again, nothing comes of it. All these plot threads that start and then don't come to anything. You don't get the feeling the family are in danger. All that happens is Katie turns into basically a snarky bitch. And if that's what it is, if that's what it means being possessed, I'd like you to introduce me to my exes. that must be it. They were possessed, yeah. But that's all happens throughout this. And then we'll meet Father Bob. And I don't know what character he's trying to play. Oh, it's the director plays Father Bob. Now, they're trying to make him the burnt out, broken priest. That they're trying to give that impression, but also not. Once again, you don't get his backstory. There's no flashbacks in this, which I think would have benefited because he's encountered this very same demon before. He's encountered himself as a child, but I don't know whether he was a child in the house because he said he had been to the house as a priest before, so I don't get it. Also, it's very convenient that a Roman Catholic family moves into the house and the previous owners were Roman Catholic, because if, say, a Presbyterian family had moved in and the neighbour went, oh, here's a card from the priest, want you to call him, they'd be like, no. Do you know what I mean? Or a Muslim family moved in, oh, the local Catholic priest wants you to call him, no. You know what I mean? That would have been the end of that plot, so that was a bit weird. Very contrived, if that makes sense. I'll not lie, I struggled through this one. It was a bit of a slog for a number of reasons. He doesn't get introduced anyway until nearly more than halfway through the movie. And to be honest, he doesn't really do anything. Like the first, he arrives for dinner, and Katie, the demon inside Katie, reveals herself. You know who I am, blah blah blah, and he just goes, "Okay, no problem. See you tomorrow," and just walks out. And you're like, "Huh? What is this?" And then he doesn't do anything until Michael calls him again. And there's only one scene where she looks as if she's dead, sleepwalking, and she's standing on the stairs with a knife in her hand, but nothing happens of it. Um, and then a weird scene where, yeah, we're having potatoes for dinner, and the peel entire. She makes the girls peel an entire bag of potatoes, and then doesn't cook them, and nothing else happens. It's a weird scene. Weird scene. The neighbors, what do you call it? We meet the neighbors, and this happened to me. Like the neighbor meets, like you're barely like carrying the boxes, you're just about going in the house, and the neighbors arrive, and you're like, give somebody a chance to move in first and get their bearings, and then have that a day later. And that's what I'm talking about. The whole pace in this. This all happens like within, like they're just lifting boxes, and the neighbors like, hello, and then the wife's like, the one of the neighbors' wives like, oh, it's so shame what happened to blah blah blah. And he's like, shut up, trying to do a bit of mystery, but I didn't bat. And then you had this other weird neighbor, Dawn, or Professor Dawn or something. And he was being very offhandish and stuff and weird, and there's no reason for it. And then they're all having drinks one night in their own house. They've invited each other, and Michael just turns up, speak to them, and then that whole scene is a bit contrived. Yeah, the real issue. I'm struggling to actually go in because legitimately nothing happens in this movie, and it's nearly an hour 40 minutes long. I mean, it's closer to the 2 hour mark than an hour and a half, and that's not including the bloody ads. But they try to do, yeah, what is it? They try to do a scene where she can't leave the house. She's bound to the house, and they're driving out, and she's like, "I need my phone. I need my phone," and getting on, getting on like a bitch basically. But he drives her back like really meek. Like his personality changes from the. I don't get the Michael character because he's a weird personality. I don't know what they're trying to show with him. She goes back, and all she does is go back. She doesn't. She has the phone in her back pocket, but she goes back to tell her older daughter who's studying, "Do you not think I know if you're not looking through my things?" And then that's it. You're like, huh? God, I'm struggling here. Yeah, stuff happens. It's weird. I just ended up not buying into it. And then you have the final sort of scene where the priest comes in and he says a few mumbo jumbo words, and she does it, and it's not really much of a confrontation, and then it's all finished, and then they're all going to church, like in the next scene at the end, and that's it. Drone shot intro, and that's the movie. I wasn't feeling this one whatsoever. It doesn't help this, I mean, like I said, the ads and the sound. First of all, that puts you in a certain frame of mind when you're watching a movie. You can be more forgiving of things. There's no special effects in this. It's purely character driven, and it's not you're not buying the characters because I think they needed that 10 minutes to set the scene. I think they need to be in the house maybe a day or two before introducing the neighbors, and then it needed to be a day or two before any maybe discovery of the Ouija board, and then the descent. But it just happens like boom at the start, and then it just drags out. The pacing of this is just uh God, it just takes you out of it. You can't immerse yourself in even the plight of them because you're like you just getting pulled out for different things. And I don't think they're bad actors. Do you know what I mean? Because they're able to demonstrate, and like I said, the two young girls were able to demonstrate consistent characterization. I think it's like I said, it's the whole pacing thing is what's ruined this movie. Too much happened too quickly, and then nothing happened with it, and there's no sense of dread. So you're not getting any sense of dread or fear of danger for the family or anything. All it seems to be getting possessed by a demon turns person into an alcoholic, and in fact, she's just showing the symptoms of somebody who's got alcoholism. You know, sneaking the drinks and the mood swings, and yeah. So, and the fact that the family just don't react the way of what the hell's wrong with you. Like if they were not sort of if this wasn't what they were used to with her, if that makes sense, it would have been what the hell's wrong with you? What are you acting like this for? And it would just been out there in the open straight away, if that makes sense. The fact that he ducked and dodged and the kids ducked and dodged kind of suggests this is the family dynamic anyway, without the demon. If that makes sense. Because you've like I said, you've given no switch. It all just happened too quickly. The Father Bob character, I didn't see the benefit of his character because I got nothing. Let's say I got nothing from him. He came for dinner and went away, and then it was only Michael harassed him, like got him to do something. There was no real nothing there. Like I've seen loads of possession movies, and yeah, nothing. And even the demon reveal, the demon sort of didn't reveal. You know what I mean? They changed the voice slightly, briefly for moments, but you didn't get the actual reveal of the demon. So, huh? And the ending was flat as a pancake. And what got me as well is what happened to the Ouija board. Like after it was discovered and she hid it, you know, I mean, you saw her using it like once or twice, and then she hid it in the drawer, and then it was never spoken of again. Was that the catalyst? Did that need to be destroyed? If it's still in the house, does it still, because that's the theory is that Ouija boards attract demons, and they use it to anchor to this realm. Such nothing about it at all. Like even the scene, if they had got some lighter fluid and just set it out the back garden and burnt it, and a wee bit of effects, it might have worked. But yeah, nothing. Disappointing, especially when one of my friends recommends this, whose opinion I value. If that makes sense, check us out when we're doing the Peter Jackson series at the moment. Heavenly Creatures is up next. So it's not like Dale's some random person, you know what I mean? I respect her opinion. Maybe the other movies, maybe it's not this one. I'll have to ask her actually and get her opinion of it. But this one just did not work for me whatsoever. Yep, pie usually works. I had a good scenario actually. Let's go off on a tangent because I'm done talking about this movie. By the way, I just want to fill up 5 minutes. I had a good situation with some of my neighbors because they had apple trees and I made cider. So there were more apples than they could pick, if that makes sense. So I used to get buckets of apples. And then what I do is I make a cider, and then once I got it all bottled up and that, I'd give them over stuff. Or for the ones that didn't drink, I made up chutney and stuff. And we had people that had rhubarb, and nobody knew, for some reason, American, nobody knows how to work with rhubarb. So I was making rhubarb jam and all sorts. And then the jars just went round and got the jars back and stuff. It was a good little thing. That's when you got like neighbors, and you aren't in each other's faces, but there's that wee bit of community, it's good. Other times, I remember once back in my own house in Belfast, there was just one family moved into the neighbourhood, into the sort of street, and for 6 months our lives were all made hell. The dynamic of the street completely changed. Their kids were monsters. She was I don't know what the hell her problem was, but it was that bad. Even the paramilitaries got involved. This is how much of a lunatic this person was. Friggin' loyalist paramilitaries put her out of the street. And then the dynamic of the street changed. But you got none of that with the neighbours. It was very, in this one, even the so-called house party or they were meeting for a drink was weird. The scene was set weird. The interactions was weird, and bringing Michael coming in, and the reaction to him was weird. It just didn't land. Where they would have given warnings, honey, watch out. Oh, if she starts to do this to that, that's what happened last time. Be careful. None of that, I don't know, man. Honestly, a lot of the things are not hard to do. It's not like Shakespearean acting. It's just a wee bit of, how do I put it? It's almost role playing. You use your life experiences. If you can think to your head what a neighborhood's like, what having neighbors that look out for each other, and what having the busybody, because there's one of them's a busybody. So we've all met the busybody is into your business, and you're always avoiding them, and that you know what it's like. They can't bring that into the scene. I don't know. So all in all, disappointing. Check it out for yourselves. I'm going to change the link to the Tubi one. Hopefully that's got less ads, but that YouTube version's awful. I'd actually subscribe to the channel too, but I don't think I'll be watching anything else on it because, God, those ads, can't do it. So there you go. There's that one. I'm going to keep it short because, honestly, I have nothing else to say on it because there's nothing else to pick apart. So hope you enjoyed it for what it was. If you've seen our channel, we have tons of stuff coming up. So going to be busy over the next 6 to 8 weeks. So make sure, obviously, keep up to date with the channel, do the typey clicky things. And until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.